Well, the truth is out. Mark Zuckerberg says the Biden-Harris administration did pressure Facebook to censor content back in 2021. So is there any price to pay for breaking the First Amendment, as this administration clearly did? Joining us now is Jonathan Turley, George Washington University constitutional law professor, Fox News contributor, and author of The Indispensable Right. Good to see you, Jonathan. Thanks for being here. You know, it's nice for Zuckerberg to finally admit it, but as you point out in an article you just wrote, he could have said this a long time ago. It wasn't until he was pressured by Congress to come out and say, which he just did, quote, "I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today." Well, why did it take him so long to say that?
Well, the statement is more contrived than it is contrite. I mean, this is coming years of silence. After years of silence by Zuckerberg, Elon Musk has been the subject of unrelenting attacks since he released the Twitter files. And Facebook fought every effort to release the Facebook files. These files, most of us presumed, had similar coercion pressure from the government. And Zuckerberg never fessed up to any of it. And, I talk about this in my book, The Indispensable Right. I talk about Facebook's role in all of this. Why this is such a unprecedented anti-free speech movement. And it's because of this alliance of the government, corporations, the media, and academia. And so what Zuckerberg said today, we all knew, but what he was forced to do that by the House Judiciary Committee. So this is an admission at the point end of a bayonet. I mean, he came to this epiphany only because he was forced to make these disclosures.
Well, I hope he means it when he says we wouldn't make the same mistakes now that we made then. I pray that he means it. But you bring up a very interesting point, because a lot of people are using socialism or even communism to describe this administration. There's another word. It goes back to the Second World War, but it's called corporativism. It's what you saw in Mussolini's Italy, where there was this unholy alliance between a few corporations and government that controlled the whole sphere. When I think of the dangers of what happened there, I think of a corporativist environment. I don't want to get too fancy with this terminology, but you know what I'm saying, right?
No, David, you're absolutely right. That's why, in the book, I say, look, it is a dangerous conceit for people to look at, for example, this book and all the periods we've gone through of anti-free speech efforts by the government, to assume we're going to withstand this one. This is different. I mean, the alliance we're seeing here, the sophistication of this alliance, the scope of it, we've never encountered before. And it's because of companies like Facebook. And by the way, when Zuckerberg said, "I'm really, really sorry about being silent," he wasn't silent. Facebook had a commercial campaign that went on for years where he tried to sell young people on embracing censorship. And I wrote about that commercial campaign. It was really creepy. But they were focusing on young people, because we have a generation of speech phobics, that these kids have been told since they were very young that free speech isn't harmful, it's triggering, they shouldn't have to hear opposing views. So Facebook tried to sell that to try to get a free people to be less free, and it didn't work very well.
But the best cure, the best medicine for all this, I think, is competition, the competition of the free market. And what has changed most significantly, I would say, since 2020, since these 2021 operations occurred, is the change of hands of Twitter. Twitter getting in the hands of Elon Musk, and Elon Musk opening up a whole new universe of competition that Facebook didn't have. Now the competition will do more to cure Zuckerberg's old habits, I think, than any kind of self-righteousness.
I think that's right. And people need to remember that this whole crusade against Elon Musk, this unrelenting and vicious attack on everything that he touches, started when he dismantled the censorship program. This is part of the anti-free speech movement. And he became persona non grata. And Zuckerberg just stayed silent through all this. He never said, hey, you know what? We also engage in censorship, and they forced us to do it. They pressured us. They did did exactly what they did with Twitter. He didn't say any of that because he lacked the courage of Elon Musk.
I agree. I agree. Very quickly, I want to touch on something that deals with Kamala Harris and her plans for the future. She was talking about price controls, and as you know, a lot of Democrats and some Republicans are saying, well, she couldn't get even if she was elected, she couldn't get them because Congress would have to approve, and there's no guarantee she'll have a Democratic Congress. Well, what I would say to that is, look at the student loan forgiveness program, where you had the Supreme Court deciding you can't do that, Mr. President, because you can't spend $600 billion on your own. You have to have Congress to do it. He's doing it anyway. He continues to roll out these new regulations that are essentially student loan forgiveness plans that the Supreme Court said you couldn't do. She's learned from Biden how to do things that are against the law, and that might mean engaging in price controls even if she doesn't have Congress approval.
Well, I think there's a very serious chance of that. This administration has embraced this unilateralism in our system. They've evaded the separation of powers. And the president himself admitted that he was told that his eviction moratorium was unconstitutional. Only one law professor he cited said that, oh, go ahead and try it. He admitted his own White House counsel told him that, and he still did it. And so I think that people who assume that they're just going to go to Congress and throw in the towel have not been watching for the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan, don't go anywhere because you want to watch our next guest. I'm sure you'll be interested in Tulsi Gabbard, what she has to say about all this. But thank you so much. Great to see you again, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
Thank you.